Hello my sweet friends, welcome to DIY with Nadia and welcome to Centerpiece Sunday. Today we are using the Dollar Tree 3D wreath form to make a beautiful and elegant Christmas centerpiece. Now these come in two sizes. They come in 14-inch and 10-inch. I'm going to be using the bigger one today. So if you can only find the smaller one or you prefer the smaller one, you can definitely do what we do today on a smaller scale. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the little wheels that come with this, and the instructions are pretty simple to follow on the back. I'm going to open up my little sphere here, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wheel on there and I'm going to lock it in place. Just start with one. Alright, now I'm going to turn it upside down and do the same thing with the top. And now it's a little easier because when you do the first one, it kind of spreads our wreath kind of evenly, or centerpiece, whatever we want to call this. Here's a close-up of what it kind of looks like. And I did put them on from the outside. The next thing I'm going to do is these guys have these rods right there, if you can see. This little rod. So the one that's on top, I'm going to get pliers and I'm going to bend it. I just don't want it to stick out, but I bent it at the top. At the bottom, I'm grabbing a floral foam. This is the hard green floral foam. It's made to put in little vases that are going from wider to narrower, and you can see how the foam is going here. And I'm just going to center it in the middle of my centerpiece, and I'm just going to put it straight on top of that rod that's at the bottom of my centerpiece. Now my foam piece is glued in completely here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these wired pine strands, and I found ones that were the thinnest. And I'm talking about, let's see here, see, it doesn't say diameter, but these are as thin as they get. They're very, very thin. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time and slowly hot glue them to each one of my little wires. And one is not enough, which is fine. I'm going to grab another one and finish that off. And I'm just hot gluing it straight onto our wires here. When you're doing the continuation, make sure the strands are facing the same way. And I'm just going to continue going all the way around and hot gluing these on. Since Leo's over here, safety first. Alright, I'm going to continue and hot glue all of these because there's really nothing to see. I'm just hot gluing and repeating the steps over and over until I'm done. Look at this. Our supervisor is hard at work. By the way, I wanted to mention that the roses right there, they're from my neighbor Karen. I did a tree topper bow for her, and that video is going to be coming out next week. And she wanted to say thank you with those roses, so I wanted to say thank you to Karen for my pretty, pretty flowers. Alright, and I wanted to show you what it looks like all done with these. And mine are all facing from the top. The branches are going down, and I think it's very, very important for all of them to be facing the same way so it looks symmetrical and it looks natural. Now we need to set it on something. You can use a plate, you can use anything you want. I have this little shadow little box from this is actually from Hobby Lobby. I got it after Easter for 90% off, so this was, you know, a few cents. All I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it in with greenery first. And Dollar Tree has a lot of greenery. You can actually take a Dollar Tree those little Christmas tree, take them apart, and you can do that with them, and you can actually use these to, you know, for to cover the greenery right here, to cover the metal part. You can also use these little picks, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite things from the Dollar Tree. And then you have wired garland, which is a little thicker. So if you can find the really thin one, it would be good. But for this part, we can use the thicker stuff. So I'm actually going to be using some things I had on hand. This is leftovers from projects prior. This was actually a Christmas tree that was taken apart. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some big pieces and I'm going to cover this area right here. And this is wired, so it's easy to move it around. And I'm just going to cover that little bunny on the inside with that. I have the bottom covered, and I knew that it was going to be covered by the greenery right here anyway, but I also wanted to do it to lift it up just a little bit so that my centerpiece will sit right on top of the greenery really nicely. So now we're going to give it a good chunk of hot glue, and we're going to hot glue our centerpiece to our base. Now our centerpiece is attached to our base really well. I did put it on a Lazy Susan so we can start decorating. Next, I'm going to be using my branches that I had on hand, and we're going to start filling it in. You want to start filling in with the greenery, and I feel like these are too long. I'm going to cut those in half and just start poking them right in the center. Now's the time to kind of look around and see, well, how far do I want my greenery to be sticking out from the centerpiece? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use up all my greenery that I have. And now I'm going to stick a few from the top. And I'm grabbing my little vase that I'm going to use to make sure that it's going to be in the center here. I'm going to take my candle out because I already know where it's going to stand and how it's going to stand. As far as the foam itself, no worries. I usually fill it in with some moss or, you know, anything you have on hand, we can fill that in with, and that's not a big deal at all. These are a little too long, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little picks here, basically taking off the metal part here. And I'm going to put it in between these areas so it's sticking out of my centerpiece right here, and it's going to be nice and noticeable. I'm telling you guys, these picks are the best thing ever. I absolutely love them. You know, I always say not necessarily symmetric, but in a centerpiece like this, you want to make sure that whichever side you're looking at it from, it's going to look good. It's going to look unison. It doesn't necessarily need to mirror each other everywhere, but it does need to look like it just flows. I think that's the right word. It just all needs to kind of flow. All right, we have covered a lot. Now I'm going to go in here and there and cover it with some of these little greenery, the ones we were putting on top. I'm just going to cut them in maybe 3-4 inch strands and just go in and out, kind of try to cover some of that greenery. I have 3 picks left over, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of try to put it in the center facing up a little bit, and I'm going to show you a close-up in just a second of what we have so far. All right, and I'm going to just put them on 3 sides, right here and right there. And this is what we have so far. I have 3 of those picks right there, and then it's pretty much filling in. And yes, I know this is showing right here, but as I said, not to worry, we will take care of it if anything is showing at the end with some moss. And now we're going to fix this area right here. All right, you guys, center of attention right here. I don't know what to do with him today. He really wants to be on camera. What can I say? So I saved 2 of my little branches here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start wrapping them around the top. This is wired, so it's going to stay, and basically my goal is to cover that silver. And then from the other side, let me see what wasn't covered. All right, from this side now. All right, and just to show you guys, it is completely covered right there. You can't see any of the silver. So the color scheme for this is going to be that very elegant champagne gold, or like elegant kind of pink with a beautiful green. So I'm bringing in my favorite poinsettias. They're the ones that are kind of snow covered and they have pink on the inside, and they kind of towards the outside they get brighter and whiter. So beautiful. I'm going to cut the stems to about 4 inches. We don't want them to be too long. And the leaves here, they're little, I'm not going to be using them because they clash with our greenery kind of big time. So I'm just going to take those off. And I'm going to use 6. I have 4 on the stem and I had 2 left over from a previous project. So I have 6 altogether, which is perfect to put in between here. All right, I'm going to go and put them towards the top a little bit. To make sure that it's nice and even, I'm going to go to the opposite side and put one right over there. Then I'm going to see where these would go, approximately there. So this one would go right here. As I'm doing the centerpiece, I am completely falling in love with it. I think it's going to be absolutely stunning. So pretty. All right, the next champagne color thing we're going to do is I picked up these berries at the Dollar Tree. Now I only have 5 of them. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 of them for now. And we're going to put them in between our little picks, the plastic picks that we love so much, or Nadia loves so much. And we're going to put them in between. So I have my little berries right there in the center. And then the flowers going around. And as you can see, we are seeing less and less of the foam itself. You can definitely do this if you want. You can grab an extra poinsettia and put it on top. And I have 2 berries left over because those bushels come in a pack of 5. And you can definitely put them on top. But I just feel like it looks like an Easter egg when you have something like this and that on top. I just want to keep it clean. I want this to be nice and smooth. And I'm actually contemplating on giving my greenery a haircut over here, because I don't want that to be sticking out so much. Next, I'm going to grab a branch, and this is a light gold branch. This is not that very yellow gold, and it goes really nicely with this one. It's not necessarily, you know, a champagne kind of gold, but it's pretty light. And we're going to kind of expand with those. So I'm going to put them in spots where, let's see here. Here's an empty spot that we kind of need to fill in. Now we have our gold branches in, and to tell you the truth, it is looking so full. But I want to add one more little element, and that's these little ornaments. And they are the little ones. They come in a pack of 15 from the Dollar Tree. And this is the kind of the rose gold color that Dollar Tree has. To attach our ornaments, I'm going to be using an empty floral branch. And it depends on you how long you want them. Maybe 5 inches, maybe 4 inches. And all I'm doing to attach them is just putting some hot glue right inside the tip of our ornament right there. Give it a nice little dollop there. And then just shove the little wire right in and let it cool. While the hot glue and the ornaments are cooling, I'm grabbing some reindeer moss And I really love reindeer moss because it's quite strong and it doesn't fray like some other greenery. And I'm just going to look around where I need to put it in. And just dabbing some hot glue. I'm going to put my little moss right there and fill it in. I'm finding that I pretty much need to do it just on the top edge of my foam, because don't forget a candle's going on the inside. Now that the moss is in, I'm going to put these guys in a little bit of a zigzag. You want them to be spread out, so some I'm going to put at the bottom, some towards the top. I don't want too much on the ornaments because I feel like the centerpiece is busy enough with the flowers and the gold and everything else that it has going on. And now I have a little LED candle here, and I'm just going to put it in the center of our centerpiece. And that is it. I think it's beautiful. I'm glad I didn't do anything on top because there's a lot of action going on here at the bottom. And I think it's busy and beautiful and full. You can't see the foam itself. I think it turned out absolutely lovely. In the comments below, I would love to know if you're going to give this a try. Maybe not this one particular, maybe with other colors that you would love, but maybe you got inspired and now you want to try a 3D centerpiece. I would love to know. And if you have any ideas and want me to make more of these, let me know, and let me know what theme you want. Maybe I'll make one for Easter. That would be beautiful. But I think this turned out lovely, and for Christmas, for New Year's, this is going to be so beautiful. If you love videos like this where I show budget-friendly centerpieces and wreaths, please consider subscribing, hitting that red button, the little bell that will notify you every time I post a video, and also please consider hitting the thumbs up. That really does help my channel. I can also be found on Instagram, Facebook, or Pinterest under DIY with Nadia, and I'm also working on my website, that's DIYwithNadia.com. I would love for you to become part of my other social media platforms so we can inspire and grow together. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye, my sweet friends. Mwah! For those who think I can't control my pets, you're right. Oh, this is so not professional. Oh, Leo, please. Do I have to bribe you with food? Did it come to that? I'm going to feed him. You want food? I'll give you food. I don't care.